Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a really cool Northern Electric Galion telephone, and this is Mike's telephone from Washington. And Mike bought this telephone out of state over the internet from some shop or an antique store or something like that, and had it shipped directly to us at A1 Telephone for us to repair and go through. So he's never actually even had this telephone in his possession yet. And so we did an earlier video on this telephone, and the rotary was very sluggish, so we went through that and repaired it. And Mike seen the video, and he wanted to do some changes. He wanted a really fast return on the rotary, and I'm going to go ahead and do that a few times. So we know that the rotary return has been sped up, so that's about as fast as you want to go on the return. You got to be careful about how fast you return a rotary. Some digital telephone companies don't even see the pulse signal, and ones that do, if you return the rotary too fast, their equipment might not even recognize it. So you have to be careful about the return speed. I mean, it wasn't made to be a lightning type thing. You know, rotary dials are a manual situation, and it's nice to have one that returns fast. But that's not really what it was about. It wasn't about how fast they returned. It was about just dialing the telephone and waiting for it to dial. So we sped that up for Mike. The other issue was we installed a solenoid in this telephone because in Northern Electrics, usually they have a 30-cycle bell in them for the solenoid, and they don't ring well on a 20-cycle situation. And so you'd have to have a real heavy ring cycle come in with a lot of rin on it, because they pull a lot of rin, and then the bell might just tinkle a little bit, and you don't want that. Most of the time the bells won't ring at all. And yeah, you can get some of them to ring. Most of the time they won't ring properly, and customers wouldn't be happy with it. So we don't deal with that 30-cycle bell solenoid. And so we changed it, and he wanted a solenoid that was a little more to the period of the telephone. So we went ahead and installed a solenoid that was more to the period of the telephone, same age basically. The other request was he wanted this telephone to tinkle when you ring or when you dial a number. And that's kind of hard to pull off with these types of solenoids. But we went ahead and I tweaked out the situation as best I could, and I have the bell tinkling when you dial a number. And I don't usually do that with these telephones. It's a different style bell that we use for that. And so anyway, I like to try to do what I can for a customer, but you know, there is a limit to what we can do with these. They're old telephones, and you can only do so much tweaking on them. So anyway, we've got that situation straightened out, and all the tweaking in the world isn't going to do any good if Mike's line voltage isn't good. So if his line voltage is proper and it's a nice strong line voltage, then he'll be okay. Same thing on the ring cycle. He has to have a good ring voltage, and then everything should be okay. I'm going to set this telephone up according to our line voltage here at the shop and the analyzer here. So we know it works here. If it doesn't work there, then there will be another issue. So we're going to go ahead and do some things here. I have this telephone apart, and you may get a little tinkle of the bell once in a while when you pick it up or hang up. That's just the characteristic of tweaking the bell out to get it to work when you dial it out, to tinkle. So now we have our period solenoid in the telephone, and we're going to go ahead and ring the dial a number. So I'm going to try to reach around here, and I'm going to go ahead and dial a 0, I believe. And you'll see, and then I'll just dial some of the smaller numbers. And I'll do another 0 here. So we know that the clapper is tapping the bells when we dial out. So what we can do now is I'll go ahead and pick the telephone up and I'll ring it. I'll let that go one more time. I'll answer the telephone, but I also want to hit a low ring cycle. That's on the low side. We'll go ahead and answer the telephone. So now what we can do is we can do some final checks with this telephone. We'll go ahead and hang it up here, and we'll go ahead and use the analyzer. Give you some dial tone. We'll walk through our numbers if you want to watch the analyzer. And I'll end in a 2. I want to transmit into the handset. If you watch that red light on the analyzer, that's an indication every time you see that red light of 100% modulation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, hello. So we know that the telephone has receive, transmit, it's dialing out, it's tinkling the bells when you dial, and it rings in on low and high setting. We want to go ahead and move the telephone. I have a switch box here, so if I press this button, that'll take the analyzer totally out of the situation, and we'll have a line out, and we'll go ahead and call it time and temp. Give you some dial tone.
Offenburg Ford, a short drive to great value. Today is Tuesday, April 2nd. The time is 2:28. Current temperature 43 degrees. Now the Belleville area weather forecast. Mostly clear tonight and Tuesday, low tonight near 30. Tuesday's high upper 40s.
Okay. We can call one other number. We can call my number, and it'll be busy. Okay. Now that we know that this telephone has been repaired and we have done these changes to the telephone, we're finished up. And this telephone will be sent back to Mike, and he can enjoy his telephone. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com. And you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.